In this module, we're going to talk about the everyday ethics of design. In this first portion of the module, Dr. Carla Zoltowski will walk us through a scenario discussing the ethics of a racing car that's built for accessibility. Take a minute to read through the scenario and think about how you would act if you were a designer for this car.
So we have the car team that looks at accessible racing for kids. And there was a situation that happened early on in the team that actually motivated this. So here, the parent or caregiver is asking the EPICS team member to lie to the child about their control of the car. So when you thought about this, how many people said in the survey that they would actually lie to the child? Okay. How many said that they wouldn't lie to the child? How many couldn't decide? Okay. So what are the ethical issues that are going on, and why did, like for example, some of you who said yes, you would lie, what were the things that you were thinking about? Why would you lie?
Parental authority.
Parental authority, okay, absolutely. So in that situation, so what is it respecting? As if you think about the parental authority and the primacy, the importance of a parent-child relationship related to that. But what are some other issues that are going on, right? It's not the only one. Huh?
The self-esteem of the child.
The self-esteem of the child. Right. So if you're thinking about the self-esteem of the child, what would you do in that situation? Okay. So I think one of the issues here, though, is that in Soapbox Derby, if there's a crash, would they feel responsible? And or maybe it would think that they can drive a car when really they haven't developed the skills to do that. So, I mean, that can be an argument on the other side. For those of you who said, no, you wouldn't lie, what was kind of the principle or reason why, the reason that you wouldn't lie? Yeah, so in general, is it a good thing to lie? What do you say? Huh? Yes, it's a good thing to lie in general? No, so the virtue and character. And I do know people who have been in situations where they were basically lied to, and it was really very, very significant. And they have made the oath that they will not lie about anything because of the potential negative impact that it's had on them. So that could be a principle that becomes very, very important to you, as you kind of go through this. So, kind of thinking about this, and we're talking about parental rights, right? We're talking about character and virtue as underlying things. We're talking about, though, also aspects of child happiness and their state of mind as well. And also being respectful of kind of the child and not necessarily doing things in a way just because they have a disability. Okay, so some of the things going on there. So before I go on, though, for example, for this one, really, and this team was put in a position where initially when they designed the car, so one of the things we think about as a designer, and even though in this situation, you're kind of being forced to choose yes or no, right? What are some other strategies you might do to undertake versus really, most of the times that's not our only choice, yes or no. What else could you do? What would be another way to handle this? Yes?
Even if you decide to tell the truth, you have a choice on how to phrase it.
Okay, so you can phrase it in a certain way, yes?
You can tell the parent that you're uncomfortable with doing that, and if they want to do that, then they should do that.
Yes, absolutely. So you can talk to the parent one-on-one, let them know you're uncomfortable, and then you can address it that way, and that way you're not getting in the middle of the relationship. What are some other things? So here we're actually posing it as, and the car team will know about this, that the only options were we fake the steering wheel or this child has control. But what's actually a design solution that can do both of those things? Right, so a slip clutch, right? You could actually use a slip clutch that would allow them to be able to do that. So this is the reason why ethics actually is really, really important to think about in design. Because instead of, if we understand these different issues of, wanting the child to have this great experience and have control of the car, but actually concern about their safety, if they actually do have total control over the car. So that's why this is important to talk about. It's not just don't cheat, don't do bad things, but how can we think about these how ethics affects everyday decisions in what we do as designers, engineers, professionals. Okay, that's why it becomes really important.